My entitled mother-in-law threw my custom computer into the swimming pool, so I let my corporate insurance lawyers legally bankrupt her. I work from home as a senior 3D rendering artist for a major Hollywood visual effects studio. My entire livelihood depends on a massive, custom-built, liquid-cooled workstation. It is a $40,000 absolute monster of a machine, loaded with 4 high-end enterprise graphics cards. My wife and I recently let my entitled mother-in-law, Susan, stay in our guest room for 2 weeks while her condo was getting painted. Susan is a bitter, controlling boomer who heavily favors her golden child daughter, my sister-in-law, who just had a new baby. Susan constantly made passive-aggressive comments about my home office, saying it should be converted into a nursery for her new grandson. She literally called my $40,000 workstation a stupid children's toy. One Wednesday, my wife and I went into the city for a fancy anniversary dinner. When we got back, my home office was completely empty. I ran out to the backyard and saw the absolute worst sight of my entire life. Susan had literally dragged my massive custom workstation out to the patio and shoved it straight into the deep end of our saltwater swimming pool. The entire rig was completely fried. My enterprise GPUs, my massive storage arrays, and my motherboard were totally destroyed. Susan was sitting on the patio drinking a glass of premium wine with a massive smirk on her face. She smugly told me it was time for me to finally grow up and give the room to my sister-in-law's baby. My wife was absolutely screaming at her, completely freaking out. Susan just laughed and said the cops wouldn't do anything because it was just a civil family matter. She was right about one thing. I didn't waste my time arguing with her. I immediately pulled out my cell phone and filed a formal police report for felony destruction of property. When the cops showed up, Susan proudly admitted to throwing the machine in the pool, thinking they would actually take her side. Instead, they read her rights, put her in handcuffs, and took her straight to the county jail. But the police were just step 1. Step 2 was the absolute financial ruin of Susan's life. I have a very specific, high-limit commercial inland marine insurance policy on all my studio equipment. I filed a massive claim, submitted the police report where Susan confessed, and got a $40,000 check wired to my business account in exactly 3 days. But Susan didn't understand how commercial insurance actually works in the United States. It involves a terrifying legal process called subrogation. When the insurance company pays me out, they legally buy the right to sue the person who caused the damage to get their money back. My insurance company unleashed a massive team of ruthless corporate lawyers on her. They didn't just sue Susan, they completely destroyed her. Because she intentionally committed a felony, she couldn't even declare bankruptcy to escape the massive debt. The corporate lawyers legally placed a massive lien on her precious condo and aggressively garnished her retirement pension. She had to sell her condo at a massive loss just to pay the lawyers and avoid going to federal prison for insurance fraud. She is now sleeping on a cheap air mattress in my sister-in-law's cramped apartment, completely broke and miserable. Some of my wife's trashy relatives are calling me a complete sociopath for letting a massive corporation make an old lady homeless over a computer. But let's be completely brutally honest here. If your entitled mother-in-law deliberately destroyed your entire livelihood and smirked in your face, would you have unleashed the corporate lawyers too? Or are you weak enough to just forgive family because they share your blood? Prove me wrong in the comments.